Beloved child, sit still for a moment. Turn off your phone. Turn off the noise that keeps trying to pull your attention away. Let your heart settle, even if only for these few minutes. I want to ask you a very real question. When was the last time you felt you were standing on solid ground? Not when everything was going smoothly. Not when your account still had money. Not when everyone around you was smiling and praising you. But when you knew for certain that even if the sky fell tomorrow, you would not fall into the abyss. How many people live their entire lives without ever having that feeling? They build their houses on sand. They place their trust in things that look solid but collapse at the first strong wind. They cling tightly to money, reputation, relationships, health, plans. Then one day they wake up and realize everything can disappear in the blink of an eye. David once stood in that place too. He was not a man who had never been afraid. He was not a man who had never run. He had been hunted, betrayed, and forced to pretend madness just to stay alive. He knew what it was like to lie awake through long nights, what it was like to feel so empty that no words of prayer remained. And it was from that place that he wrote the words I want us to listen to today with our hearts. He did not begin with a bold declaration. He began with a very small, very honest cry. Keep me safe. That was all. No long explanations, no listing of circumstances, no demanding that God do things his way. Just one sentence. Keep me safe, for I take refuge in you. Do you hear the difference? It was not, I will try harder. It was not, I still have a few backup plans. It was, I have nowhere else to run except to you. That was the moment a person decided to let go of every false support. And right after that cry, something remarkable happened. His heart was no longer empty. He began to see God in a completely different way. You once thought God was only an extra reward. When things went well, you thanked him. When hardship came, you ran to him. But in ordinary days, you still clung tightly to other things, as if they were your real security. Until one day you realized you were holding sand. Sand slipping through your fingers. The tighter you squeezed, the faster it disappeared. Money, reputation, relationships, even health. All of it can vanish with one message, one phone call, one test result. David did not say, God gives me a portion. He said, the Lord is my portion. There is a world of difference. When God is only a reward, you still feel lacking. When God himself is the portion, you already have enough. My child, today I want to ask you honestly, are you still holding sand or are you holding on to God? At night, when everyone else was asleep, David stayed awake. Not because of worry, but because his heart was being instructed. God was so near that even in the darkness, his voice still reached the deepest place of the soul. Do you know what that means? It means you do not have to wait until everything becomes clear before you receive guidance. It means even when you understand nothing, even when you are crying silently in the dark, God can still whisper into your heart, the things you most need to hear. He does not require you to be strong first. He only asks that you stay close. And then David spoke a sentence I want you to engrave in your memory. I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Picture the scene. A person standing in the middle of a storm, wind howling, waves crashing, everything around collapsing. But his eyes are not fixed on the storm. His eyes are fixed on the Lord. And because of that, he stands firm. Not because the storm has stopped, not because the circumstances have changed, but because the ground beneath him is no longer fragile earth. He is standing in the presence of the one who never moves. My child, life will have storms. There will be days you receive bad news. There will be nights you cannot sleep. There will be moments you feel abandoned, betrayed, misunderstood. But if your eyes remain on the Lord, you will not be swept away. And from that firm standing place, joy begins to rise. How many times have you smiled with your lips while your heart was empty? Smiled because you had to. Smiled because people were watching. Smiled because you were afraid others would discover you were breaking inside. David did not smile that way. He said his heart was glad and his tongue rejoiced, not because everything was going well, but because he knew clearly who was holding his hand when everything was going wrong. The joy of this world is like a flashlight. It only shines while the battery lasts. The joy of those who belong to God is like the sun. It needs no one to switch it on, and it never runs out of power. You do not need to pretend to be happy. You only need to look in the right place. When your eyes are still on the Lord, your heart will find its own reason to rejoice, even if tears are still on your cheeks. But the story goes much further. David's prayer should have been only about himself. Yet God hid a great secret inside it. When he said, "You will not let your Holy One see decay," he probably thought he was speaking about his own protection. But hundreds of years later, the empty tomb revealed the truth. Those words were not only about David. They pointed directly to someone who would come after him. Jesus truly died. His body was laid in cold stone, but death could not hold him even one extra day. And because he lives, my child, death cannot hold you either. Every pain, every loss, every long night of yours is not a period. They are only a comma. One day you will stand before him and everything will become clear. No more tears, no more questions, only the fullness of joy at his right hand forever. That is why David ended with one of the most beautiful declarations. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. This is not a vague promise about a distant heaven. It is an invitation to live today in the presence of God. The path of life is not a road you have to find alone. God will show it to you. Step by step, day by day, decision by decision. And as you walk that path, you will discover that joy is not something you have to chase. Joy is already waiting in His presence. Now I want to say something very clear and very strong to you. Do not just listen to these words, nod, and then forget. Do not let them become a beautiful devotion that drifts away with time. Today, right now, make a decision. Not a decision to try harder. Not a decision to read the Bible more or pray longer. But a decision about where your heart will stand. Speak to the Lord with your own voice, even if only in a whisper. Lord, from this day on, I choose you as the only refuge of my life. I will no longer run to money, to people, to success, or to any other support. I choose you as my greatest treasure. Even if I lose everything else, I still have you, and that is enough. I choose to keep my eyes on you every day, no matter how dark the night or how fierce the storm. I trust you will show me the path. I want to live in your presence, not only in quiet moments, but in every moment of my life. Say it, my child. Say it from the heart. Say it even if your voice trembles. If you speak those words and your heart is still hesitant, say them again. This time, say them louder. Because when you speak those words, heaven and earth will witness it. And the Lord will lean closer. You will no longer walk alone. You will no longer stand on sand. You will stand on the rock of ages. And from that place, no matter what comes tomorrow, you will know one thing for certain. You are being kept. You are being loved. You are being led. And in the end, you will be brought into the fullness of joy at His right hand forever. Begin today, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Today, right now, I am waiting for you.